Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to approximate square roots. We kind of already talked about this when you didn't have those square roots that were perfect. And so you had to figure out where to round at, and let's talk about how you can get there. Alright, title is Approximating Square Roots, and your essential question is how can you find decimal approximations of square roots that are irrational? Remember what the word irrational means. It's those numbers that are crazy, never end, don't have a repeating decimal. I want you to think of that example when somebody says, you're being very irrational right now, you're not being very logical, you have no pattern to you, no pattern. Okay, the opposite of irrational is rational, and those are the numbers that can be written as a fraction and have a pattern, have patterns. So let's look at example 1. Tell whether the number is rational or irrational and explain. You've got to be able to explain these. So looking at this one, is there a pattern? 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. It doesn't look like there's like too much of a pattern going on there. A pattern that we can use a repeating sign with. So this one is definitely irrational because it does not have a repeating pattern. All right, let's look at the square root of 196. Using your cheat sheet, you should see that 14 times 14 is 196. So the answer to the square root of 196 is 14. It needs to be negative. So does that one terminate? Yes, which makes it rational. Rational, because it's a perfect square, it terminates. All right, the square root of 2. The square root of 2 falls in between 1 and 2, okay? Because 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 4. But it is closer to 1, so it's closer to 1. Closer to 1. And if we were to plug it in to our calculators, we would get this crazy repeating no pattern decimal that goes on forever. So this one is definitely irrational because it has no pattern. All right, estimate is what we're going to look at next. We're going to estimate 33 to the nearest integer. Remember, integers are positive and negative whole numbers. Okay, so let's look at 33. Let's start down with what we do know. We do know that 5 times 5 is 25. We also know that 6 times 6 is 36. So is 33 closer to 25 or 36? Definitely 36, so approximately 6 is the nearest integer. It's somewhere between 5 and 6, but closest to 6. All right, let's go to 5. Example 5, 85. Okay, so 7 times 7 is 49. 8 times 8 is 64. 9 times 9 is 81. 10 times 10 is 100. All right, 85 closer to 81 or 100? Definitely closer to 81, which is 9 times 9, so approximately, remember that squiggly line means approximately, it's 9. Good. Let's go to 190. 11 times 11 is 121. 12 times 12 is 144. 13 times 13 is 169. 14 times 14 is 196. We're getting there. Oh, no, we did. Which one is it closest to, 196 or 169? Definitely 196, which is 14 times 14. So approximately 14 is what the square root of 190 is. All right, let's look at 7. So we know that 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 3 is 9. So between 4 and 9, which one is 7 closest to? 9. So approximately negative 3. Remember that 3 times 3 is 9. That's where I'm getting those numbers from. All right, which one is the greater? And explain. I find it most helpful to put these into decimals or approximating where they're at to determine which one they're closest to. So let's just look at putting them into decimals. All right, 4 1/5 as a decimal is 4.2, and the square root of 23 is about 4.7. So which one is bigger? 4.7, because obviously 4.7 is bigger. Because 0.2 is smaller than 0.7. Great. All right. The square root of 10, we're going to approximate it this time. Look at it instead of moving it to a decimal, is approximately 3 times 3 is 9, approximately 3. The square root of 5 is approximately 2 times 2 is 4, so negative 2. Which one is bigger? 3, because and this one is because positives are bigger. Are bigger. Okay, let's go to our next one. The square root of 2 is approximately negative 1. Right? I rounded again. And which one is bigger out of negative 1 and negative 2? Negative 1, because negative 1 on the number line is to the right of negative 2. All right. I think you guys are ready to try some problems on your own. When you're ready to press play and go over answers, I am here waiting. All right, thanks for pausing, guys. You should have gotten approximately 8, approximately 10, approximately 3. All right, which number is greater? 2 11ths is greater, and 5/4 is greater. Go ahead and answer that essential question and go take that checkpoint. I hope you guys have a good day.